much for joining me for Daily Spark with Dr. Angela. I am your host, Dr. Angela Butchester. You know what I like to do on this show. I want to enlighten you. I want to inspire you. I want to empower you to become your best self. Now, Scripture reminds us that the tongue is a small thing that makes grand speeches, but a tiny spark can set a great forest on fire. And today we want to get you fired up about becoming an overcomer. That's right, we all have something that we can overcome, no matter how big, how small, no, how insignificant to another person. If it matters to you and you were able to do it, then let's cheer you on, because we all need to celebrate those moments of overcoming. Well, that's what our guest today is going to talk about. Alicia Garcia, and we are talking about her book, Overcoming Obstacles, The Journey of Project We Hope. So you know what I'm going to tell you to do? Go on, get comfy, get cozy, get your coffee or get your tea, because we are about to get started. Good morning, Alicia. Thank you so much for being on Daily Spark with Dr. Angela today.
Hi, good morning, Dr. Angela.
I'm so glad that you're here. Now, I'm always excited to talk to someone who talks about something that is going to empower us. But before we talk about your book, I would love to introduce you to perhaps those that are listening in that are unfamiliar with your work. So the question goes like this, and I ask it of everyone: what makes you you? What makes Alicia Alicia?
Well, I think it's the family that I was raised in and the many interesting experiences that I've had. It's kind of a culmination of those things that have caused me to be who I am, and of course God working and in my life and influencing me.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, being an author, is that something that you always wanted to do, or did you find that that was simply the next thing along your life journey?
So when I was in elementary school, I started writing poems and things like that. And then as I got into high school, I started writing plays. And so I've written multiple plays, multiple things, but I had never actually written a book. And it was about a year before this project came out that I really felt like my next step was actually authoring a book.
I can definitely understand that. We have to if we follow like the rhythm of our lives and we're able to look back, we can see how in perfect timing things really do happen when they are supposed to happen. Now, the title of your book, Overcoming Obstacles, I absolutely love that. Can you tell me, how did you come about your title?
So what happened with this book is I was writing the book, and at first I didn't know what the title was. And then as I got into the book, as I got close to the end, I realized that the book was really about overcoming. And so that's kind of where the title came from. I was writing about Project We Hope, which is the nonprofit that I work for, and I didn't realize that that was going to be the title until it was almost the end, when I thought, my goodness, this whole journey has been about the obstacles being in front of us and us being able to overcome them. And so then I kind of went back and edited my chapters to include overcoming more directly once I realized that that's what the book was about.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, when you, while you were writing, did you find that you needed to be away from the hustle and bustle of the day, or did life going on around you not bother you?
So for me, I was so motivated to write this book that I would wake up sometimes at 4:45 in the morning with something that was really inspiring and just start writing then. Or I would be sitting on an airplane on traveling somewhere and I would write. And what I did was I penciled in time every day to make sure I got writing done at some point during the day, and sometimes it was multiple times during the same day, and I didn't allow the hustle and bustle to distract me at all.
I can definitely understand that. I think that as we get a little older, we're able to adapt to our surroundings a little bit more and focus in ways that we couldn't previously. I love it. I love it. Now, there are different types of obstacles that you address in the book. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So there are internal obstacles, which are things that we struggle with, our own self-esteem, our own insecurities, and our anxieties and fears. Then there are external obstacles, which are things that we can't control, like this pandemic that we're in, natural disasters, fires, bad things that happen to us. And then there are obstacles of our bad habits that really can get in our way from doing and accomplishing the things that we want to accomplish. But I just, really want to say that no matter what type of obstacle, internal, external, bad habits, that those are things that we can all overcome if we don't give up.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I love how you are very encouraging there, that we should not give up. And I think for so many people, they want to continue, but it just gets so hard that there's, an obstacle that just for them seems unsurpassable. And it really throws them for a loop. But if we have that support team, if we have those around us that are able to encourage us and keep us going, I think it can make a world of difference. So thank you for that bit of encouragement. I love it. Now, can you tell me about a difficult obstacle that you have overcome? Now, we're not asking you to necessarily divulge anything too personal unless you choose to do that. But how does your book apply? Can you give us a personal example?
Absolutely. So when I was actually in my senior year of college, my whole life, everything seemed to fall apart. My mother had a tragic stroke, and she subsequently died. My grandmother died, and then my sister was diagnosed with a brain tumor, and that was all within the same week. And I was, trying to graduate from college during my senior year, and it was just a really hard time. And so I was faced with wanting to quit, wanting to give up, and I felt like I could justify this because of all that I'm going through. But then, the Spirit of God just really ministered to me and spoke to me and whispered to me, don't give up, don't give up. I have a purpose for you. And so I was able to still graduate with straight A's during that year, despite all the challenges that I was facing. And I give honor to God for that, because in my own strength, I never could have done that.
Absolutely. Oh, my goodness. As you were naming those things, I thought surely you were going to say within the first year. I said, maybe she's going to say, no, wait, that's a lot. She's in college. Maybe it's going to be like within a semester, 6 months. Within oh my goodness, you definitely are talking about something that could send you for a loop. Thank you so much for sharing that, and congratulations on being able to graduate still with all A's, even though I know that was some time ago. That's amazing. That's awesome. I love it. We never know what's going on in someone's life, and we never know how just being that person who's kind, who smiles, who says hello, or who says, come sit next to me, can really give someone that added bit of space to just be. I love that. Now, you kind of mentioned there, my next question is about your faith walk, about your journey with God. And you kind of started on that when you were saying, you couldn't have done it without God. So many people don't understand when we say that. I'm a breast cancer survivor, and I've said that many times. People don't understand sometimes what that means. Can you kind of paint the picture for us? What do you mean by that?
Well, so I grew up in a household of faith. My parents kind of raised me to be a person that knew the Lord. And so I've been involved with church and getting to know God all my life. But interestingly, it was while I was in Bible college that it really occurred to me that the real ministry was not inside the church walls. It was outside the church walls, and that I was responsible for developing and cultivating my own personal relationship with God. And that the more that I would seek Him, the more that I would literally find Him, because He was there all along. It was just my eyes not being open to see who He was. And the more, the more difficult things I went through, if I would trust Him, He would reveal Himself and give me the strength to endure no matter what was happening.
Oh, I like that answer. I like that answer. You're definitely sharing some nuggets with us today. You know, considering that you have had some personal tragedies happen in your life and you have been able to overcome and persevere and continue and definitely flourish in your life, for someone who is going through a particular something right now, for someone who says, you know, I hear you. I think I want to get a copy of your book. I definitely need that encouragement, but I just don't know how to get unstuck right now. I don't know how to make that next move. Do you have any words of encouragement for them, for that person who's feeling stuck in their obstacle, in their mess right now?
I do. So several months ago, there was a storm here, and this tree fell right towards my house. And it really taught me that when you fall forward. That when bad things happen, as long as you continue to get up and move forward, you will eventually get through it. And so even though right now it seems hard, it seems difficult, it seems impossible, it seems earth-crushing, I understand, I have been there. But if you continue to get up and try and pray and just continue to move forward, pretty soon the worst will be behind you, and you'll understand that your best days are not behind you, they are still before you.
Oh, what a beautiful word of encouragement. I love it. Now, Alicia, it is time for us to get ready to go to break. But before we do, can you please remind everyone, what is the title of your book? Where can we get a copy? And how do we stay in contact with you?
So the book is called Overcoming Obstacles, The Journey of Project We Hope. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and authorhouse.com, and I can be reached through authorhouse.com.
All righty, listeners. Now you know where you can get a copy of the book. We'll be back right after this.
Discovery, not just a second.
What would it look like if we listened more? Could the right voice, the right set of words, bring us all just a little closer? Get us to open up, even push us further? It could, if we took the time to listen. The most inspiring minds, the most compelling stories. Download Audible and listen for a change.
We are back. Thank you so much for joining me for Daily Spark with Dr. Angela. I am your host, Dr. Angela Butchester. My guest today is Alicia Garcia, and we're talking about her book, Overcoming Obstacles, The Journey of Project We Hope. And she is definitely giving such nuggets of wisdom and words of encouragement. And you guys know that I absolutely love that, because what do we want to do on the show? We want to enlighten, inspire, and empower you to be your best. So, Alicia, my next question for you is dealing with those challenging parts of life. What is the most challenging part when it comes to working with We Hope you work with homeless persons? With that being said, what is challenging about that? But I also want to ask you the flip side of the coin, and can you tell us what are some of the rewards as well?
Yes, absolutely. So the biggest challenges of working with people that are homeless is the lack of resources that are available in many communities, and sometimes the person's unwillingness to participate in the resources that are available. And so sometimes you're faced with realizing that at this moment, because of where this person is, I'm just not able to help them. And for service care providers, help is what we do, and so it's really discouraging sometimes when you realize that this just isn't the time where you're able to help that person. But the most rewarding part is when you see that person and they get that aha moment and they start to get hope and they become inspired and they're excited and they start to really show up in their life and participate. And then when you ultimately see them get a job, or you see them get housed, or you see some other kind of personal transformation take place in their life, and you kind of stand back and you think, wow, I got to partner with this person during the most difficult time in their life, but look at them now. That is what is the most rewarding part.
Oh, I love that. Now, I have had a little bit of experience with assisting those who were displaced or homeless, and you're right, just spending time with them and just sharing that love and reminding people that I see you and I see you as a human being, as my brother and sister in Christ, not something just to be discarded. And I think, unfortunately, so many people view our homeless in such a negative light that they're afraid to stop, to care, and to give. So thank you for that. Now, in reading your book, would you say that you should read it from cover to cover? Can you read chapter next? Can you open it up and start reading it anywhere? What's your suggestion for reading it and to be able to really get all of the wisdom from your book?
Well, there are some people that I've encouraged to start with the forgiveness chapter because that is a big thing in which they're struggling. And so there's people I've said, pick it up, read that chapter first, and then go back and start at the beginning. But the book it's a very easy read, actually, and it kind of tells a story. It lays out a story, and so people generally tend to read it from cover to cover, and they kind of get captured in it. Some of the homeless clients that we deal with have read it multiple times as a way to encourage them. And so I think that if you're struggling with forgiveness, start with that chapter. But otherwise, I would say read it from cover to cover.
Mm-hmm. And, I like that suggestion because if we look back, if you are of some age, you can probably think back over a moment where it took you a little bit longer to forgive a certain person or a certain situation, a little longer than usual. So why not? I think patience, forgiveness, hope, and grace are things that we can always, mercy are always things that we can read about and kind of give ourselves a refresher course, if you will, to make sure that we're walking in those characteristics. I love that. Now, for someone who is interested in helping the homeless, of course I can understand that this is an easy choice for them to make. They want to be encouraged. But for someone who perhaps has never worked in a community setting, in a social setting where they're giving of themselves to another, they may find this book to be quite unique or different than what they've read in the past. Is this book appropriate for that person who has never worked in that arena before?
Absolutely. So the book, it just tells the story. It's really about overcoming obstacles, and I just use this Project We Hope as an example to show these different obstacles that came and how we overcame them. But this book is actually listed for business in the business section because it helps you to overcome obstacles in business. Also in the spirituality section because of how to overcome spiritual obstacles as well as personal obstacles. And so it's also listed in self-help. And so, yeah, it's a book for anyone that needs to overcome anything.
I love that. And I think what's so encouraging to me about your book is that you could definitely put it out on the coffee table, when the world gets back to normal and we're able to visit with each other the way that we used to.
Right.
Table, right? Or you could just put it in your little reading nook and just leave it there and let someone else peruse it as well. You'll be surprised at sometimes how people just gravitate to a certain thing. And they may pick it up, read something that you've written, and that could be their encouragement for the day. So definitely, I love that. Now, Dignity on Wheels, that has become a major component of We Hope. Can you tell us, how did that get started? Why was there a need for this particular program, and how has it continued to be a part of the services offered?
Oh, sure. So Dignity on Wheels is a mobile homeless service. It's actually a truck with a 600-gallon tank of water and a generator on the back that pulls a trailer that has restrooms a laundry room, and shower rooms. And this got started because the chair of our board was working on a project, and he had been working with some homeless people, and he had this desire to bring services directly to the homeless where they are. And so the director, our board of directors, the chair of the board, the president of the organization, and myself, we were having a conversation, and at first it was going to be just showers. Well, then the president's like, well, let's put laundry on there too, because what's the point of giving somebody a shower if they're putting on their same clothes? And then I told them this story about how hard it is to find bathrooms in San Francisco. And so what happened was we decided to put all of those things in this vehicle and have it custom built. And so that was 5 years ago. That was in 2015, and we made our first one and started taking it out, and it became very, very well known in the community, and it became a lifeline for the homeless. And so now we actually have 10 trailers from 2015 till now. We have 10 trailers that we're able to take out. We're now in 4 counties in 17 different cities throughout the Bay Area, and we're looking to expand to Los Angeles and eventually to the entire country. So growth has been quick. Yes.
And it is definitely needed. Now, as someone who is in Long Beach, California, many times when there's an event, like you're going to a Lakers game at the Staples Center, many times you will ride the metro. You choose to catch the train. You do a little park and ride so you don't have to fight with traffic. We all know how horrible traffic is in LA. With that being said, having that option for that homeless person to be able to, and I love that you have done that, not only use the restroom, not only take a shower, but to wash their clothes. I think that's the part that becomes most offensive to people, that there's a smell that comes with them. But people say, we don't want them in our laundromat. You can't wash your clothes an hour long. Well, where are they supposed to launder their clothes then? So, oh my goodness. Kudos to you guys for doing that and thinking and being mindful, because that is definitely needed, and I think that will help to change people's views of those that are less fortunate, to be able to sit down with them and not have that negative thought about who they are, because they're humans just like we are. Oh, bravo, you guys. That is an amazing thing to do. Now,
thank you.
My wish for you is definitely not only to Los Angeles County, but I cannot wait until you guys are able to take that nationally. I think that's an awesome thing. Now, every organization hopes to, aspires to, go on and leave a legacy, to outlive their lives in hopes that others will continue to carry the torch. What do you believe are the hopes and wishes, the future plans of We Hope as an organization, as moving forward in the world and continuing to carry that torch?
So We Hope, we actually are just started another company called United Hope Builders, and we're building a manufactured housing plant in the city of East Palo Alto in California, where are going to be building low-income and extremely low-income manufactured homes. And so we actually have a project that's just gotten started in San Jose called the Evans Lane Project that has 36 model homes that are being put there where homeless people will be living there. And so it's a model that we're hoping will catch on throughout the country so that people can have affordable housing. And these are very high quality, energy efficient, sustainable homes that appreciate more quickly than stick-built homes. And so this is our next venture that we're doing in partnership with We Hope, because we feel like in order to fully address the housing crisis, we have to have more housing stock, and specifically low-income and extremely low-income housing stock. And so we're also becoming a part of the solution with housing stock.
Absolutely. And I'm so glad that you guys are doing that. I remember when I first saw it, I think this was even on YouTube, where people were saying, we have these tiny homes, we have these little homes, and what a great thing. You could take land and provide so many more homes because they're smaller homes, they're tiny homes, they're not, large 4-bedroom homes. So they take up such a smaller footprint that we will be able to help our veterans, or we'll be able to help our homeless, or just moms with kids, whatever it is. And I went, that needs to catch fire. That needs to, get into the right hands of the right people. That is a brilliant idea. So I definitely see where you guys are going with that. Excuse me. Now, when it comes to your writing, have you found that you're doing so much? You're not only an author, but you're also working with We Hope, and that in itself, I'm sure, is an undertaking. So when it comes to your personal future of being an author, do you find that there are other books that are trying to get out? Or do you find that this book right now continues to kind of be your baby, and you want to continue to nurture this book and watch it grow even further?
So since this book, I've written a second book called The Nonprofit's Guide to Making It Rain. And it's about fundraising, how to raise money for your nonprofit. Make it rain, right? And then I'm actually writing a book right now called Make It Last, and it's about cultivating healthy relationships. And so I think I have maybe 1 or 2 books still left inside of me that are just bubbling to come out after I finish this book. And so that's kind of where things stand with me as far as writing.
It's so funny, and I love to ask that question of my authors, because there are some folks who are like, nope, this is it. This is all God gave me. I can't imagine sitting down and doing this again. But then there are others that are like, oh my goodness, once I got going, it wouldn't stop. And it's like, yes, I have book number 2 or book number next. So it's really exciting to hear that you have some other projects that we will definitely be able to catch a hold of later. Well, Alicia Garcia, thank you so much for spending time with me here on Daily Spark with Dr. Angela. I have enjoyed not only learning about your book, but finding out more about We Hope and all that you guys are doing to assist those citizens that are homeless or just despair. So thank you so much for coming on and sharing. Before I let you go, though, could you please remind us one more time the title of your book? Where can we get a copy? And, of course, how do we stay in contact with you?
Absolutely. So the book is called Overcoming Obstacles, The Journey of Project We Hope. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and authorhouse.com. You can reach me at agarcia@wehope.org, and check out our website at wehope.org.
Absolutely. Thank you again, Alicia, for being on and spending time with us here today.
Thank you for having me. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you. And listeners, thank you for spending time with us as well. We hope that we have enlightened, inspired, and empowered you to give, to be, and to do your best. As always, may the Lord continue to shine His face upon you. May you receive His grace and His mercy in all that you do. Until next time, everyone, remember, you are blessed in the Lord. Have a great day, everyone.